Everybody knows somebody who's had cancer. So one version, form, or another. You kind of think, well, that won't happen to me. You know, so then when you hear you have cancer, it's like, I was in shock.
Kind of scary too to see all the people in pink shirts were the survivors, but to realize how many hundreds of people have been affected by breast cancer.
I didn't really freak out. You know, a lot of people freak out, and that's perfectly normal. There's nothing, you know. I was 35 when I was diagnosed. Most people aren't even screened until over 40. Well, when you're still in what they call the childbearing years, your diagnosis can affect whether you can have kids. Do I want to do treatment now? Do I want to wait and risk it so that I can have a kid? Do I want to risk not being able to have a kid? Some women find out when they're pregnant. I struggled. I was a single mom. I worked full time, and I had just the semester I started graduate school. Women that are over 40, most of them have already had their children. They're, you know, established in their careers, so they have a little more flexibility with their options.
That's one of the scariest experiences I've ever had. Not only the diagnosis itself, but the treatment that I had to go through.
Well, there's so many different treatment options and so many different surgery type. You know, you can have reconstruction or not. You can have a lumpectomy, you can have a total mastectomy. But you have to be careful because your breast cancer isn't going to be the same as somebody else's breast cancer. They're staged different. There's different kinds, you know, and to say you have breast cancer, that's not even the whole picture.
Well, I was diagnosed with breast cancer 10 years ago, so this is really a great celebration for me to have survived 10 years and hopefully many more.
Well, it was a very difficult time in my life. Everything that I had ever associated with myself, my job, being a mom, being a student, that was all kind of flipped upside down. When you go through breast cancer, especially the chemo part of it, it's like I was so sick that I was not able to do any of those things. I wasn't able to be a mom or be a student or...
I think everyone's words meant a lot to me because sometimes I would feel down or scared, and it would seem like I would that day get a card from a person or a call or a visit that would be just the right message at the right time. I don't think I would have made it without the guidance and love of everyone around me.
You find out who your true family and friends really are. Before I had breast cancer, I had close relationships with my mother and my sister. They pretty much disappeared. But then again, I have a best friend who is like a sister, and she was with me the whole way.
I think people wonder, well, how can they possibly do anything to support someone who's struggling with breast cancer? And I would just say, you know, do whatever you can. It might be bringing that person a bowl of soup, sending them a card, giving them a call, but believe me, everything counts.
I really wasn't upset. It was kind of one of those things where I knew it was something I had to go through, and I knew I was going to be okay. Even though I was too sick to do stuff a lot of times. That's when I really started living, because that's when I realized this is what's really important.
You have to not only enjoy each day and be grateful and thankful for what you've been given that day, but you have to also ask yourself, how did I contribute to other people's lives? You know, how was I a blessing to anyone else today? Because that day might be your last.